Okay. How does this Ice with 3? Currently, it is May the 1st, 2026. Okay, so finally, James Comey has been arrested. We'll see how this goes. Apparently they arrested him for posting an image of some seashells spelling out the numbers 8647 all the way back, I believe, on May the 15th, 2025, which is around the same time I tried to warn Hillary Clinton about not the same thing as Donald Trump, because pretty much she was going through the same astrology as the Monica Lewinsky scandal. It's crazy. Let me pause a second. Okay, I'm back. The neighbors, they got loud a little bit. But anyway, so let's see here. Am I scared that they're gonna probably come after me because I've said a lot of crazy stuff, whatever, online. I think I also made some kind of post in relation to James Comey, well, quoting what James Comey posted on my Twitter and my True Social account. I'm like, look, it is what it is. My life's already fucked anyway, so it's like, you know what? If you're gonna get me, just get me. I'm broke, so yeah. Anyway, so do I wait? So let's see here. Let me go down this list or whatever real quick, because I think I did say something very specifically in regards to the Clintons, Andy Witt of Alabama, and Dan Patrick of Texas or whatever. I said I was going after them politically or whatever. I am via the astrology and via politics in general, not going after these people, because there have been airplanes flying over my damn house every day, not just once or twice. I'm talking about like 10 times a day. I'm like, damn, y'all, do y'all run out of gas? Do y'all run out of gas? Ever since I predicted Charlie Kirk's assassination or whatever, it's been nonstop of airplanes just going back and forth over my house every day. And I did tell the story about me running to a local store, and this woman, I did say a while back that I was like, Donald Trump, uh, I want like a 13-ounce solid gold medal and like a whole bunch of Apple products and a whole bunch of Samsung products and sponsorships, whatever. Because all the way back when, all the way back like 2 days before Charlie Kirk was assassinated, there's a lot of astrologers saying that the eclipse that was coming up on September the 7th and on September 21st, it was a king killer. And so I said, okay, well, it's gonna take out a king, probably Bill Clinton. It's not gonna take out Donald Trump. It's gonna piss him off. And then it took out Charlie Kirk. And Bill Clinton went through a lot of. I think they processed a lot of stuff in regards to the Epstein situation, which may be in possible relation to Bill Clinton in the future. Well, in the near future, because it's May the 1st. And well, I'm gonna get to the astrology in a minute. So I'm pause for a second. Okay, so I'm back. So everything I've said so far has been a warning to the Clintons and to Trump and his circle or whatever. What else? Do I hate the Clintons? No. I actually revere Hillary Clinton because of all the shit she's been through in regards to trying to become the first female president or whatever. Bill Clinton, I haven't done that much fucked up shit, but I've said a lot of fucked up shit. So it's like only God can judge. There we go. Donald Trump, do I hate Donald Trump? No. He just says a lot of crazy stuff, or whatever, and he just tells his truth. I mean, that's just he can be a he can be a boss, and we'll leave it at that. That's just how he is. Who else? Andy Witt. Andy Witt. I don't like his ass. Dan Patrick. I don't know that much about him, but I did see him in one press conference that just turned me all the way off to him. Because the thing about it is that Andy Witt of Alabama and Dan Patrick of Texas, I don't think that they take into consideration how much people invested into the 2018 Farm Bill in regards to the hemp loophole. They invested their entire livelihoods, and for their entire investments to be taken away with the pen stroke, that's insane. The word's not insane. Insane is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. That's crazy. So it is what it is. So those two, I'm not going to try to. Yeah, I'm not saying I want to take out somebody politically. No, I'm just saying, not politically. No, anyway, I'm not making any threats in regards to somebody's life. I'm just doing the astrology. How much time has passed? 4 minutes trying to explain myself. So let me get to something that's a little bit more funny to me. Pause. Okay, I know it's too soon, but Cash Patel. Cash Patel. Who is this bitch? Who is this bitch? This man said he was going to set up and take out everybody inside the building except for Cashy Cash. I thought I was the only weirdo that was obsessed with Cashy Cash Patel. But no, we got this guy right here. You know, it's funny. Because I haven't really looked too much into Cash Patel. Honestly, like his personality and stuff like that. But I have seen Dan Bongino's podcast and his mannerisms and stuff like that. And so in my head, I'm kind of like, I'm thinking like, Dan was just probably like, why does he get all the damn weirdos? Why does Cash get all the weird? Like you got this crazy this insane astrologer saying that oh Cash tell. And then you have this man right here. He's like, I want to take out everybody inside the building except for Cash. I'm like, why does Cash get all the weirdos? I bet Dan was just like, I have the muscles. Look at me, I'm a whole meal. Why are they after him? And it was a fucked up thought. I'm sorry. It was probably too soon, but anyway. It'll probably really rest the fuck out of my ass now. But anyway. Now what am I doing? What was my point? The upcoming astrology in regards to Bill Clinton. Now, on I believe May the 4th, 2026, that's when for Bill Clinton, I believe it's progressed. Moon's gonna make an aspect to his nodes. Let me get the exact astrology real quick. Pause. Okay, so let me start back over. So today there was a full moon, and so for Bill Clinton, during this full moon, transit Pluto, it trined his natal ascendant. And see, I told you that all the way back, I believe, on July the 5th, 2025, I believe I think that Bill Clinton, his progressed moon made an aspect to his ascendant, I believe. And so around that time, that was when the DOJ, they released a memo saying that Epstein, he did not kill himself. I mean, he did, in fact, kill himself. And that he did not have a client list. Let me pause for a second. I'm getting this all. Yeah, it's a lot of information, and it's like I'm exhausted. Okay, pause. Okay, so again, on July the 5th, 2025, for Bill Clinton, his progressive movement made an opposition to his natal ascendant, and that was when the Department of Justice they claimed that Epstein did in fact kill himself, and that he did not have a client list. And so the last time this happened inside of Bill Clinton's chart, where his progressive movement made an opposition to his natal ascendant, was all the way back, I believe, on January 26, 1998. And that's when he claimed that he did not have sexual relations with Monica Lewinsky, which later led to his impeachment. So for Bill Clinton, his progressive ascendant was aspected again on November the 13th, 2025, right? Yeah, that's when his progressive movement made a trine to his progressive ascendant. And on this day, the shutdown government, it came back open, and that's when they voted on the Epstein Transparency Act. So yeah, that happened. So this full moon today, transit Pluto, which rules pretty much like transformations and like destructive transformations, is making an exact aspect to Bill Clinton's natal ascendant. But not only that, let's see, give it about 2 days. No, give it on May the 6th, 2026. That's when transit Pluto will begin to retrograde. But not only that, transit the nodes in the sky will also make an aspect to Bill Clinton's natal ascendant. And so that could mean just explosive, because what Rahu does is it expands very, very quickly. But being a Ketu and Rahu are both involved. So it's like, it's fate, a fated event. A fated karmic event. And with Pluto, it's transformative. Something crazy happens around May the 6th, 2026. And this is around the same time that Bill Clinton, he has his progression to his nodes. Right? Let me pause a second. Okay, so I'm back. So on May the 4th, 2026, for Bill Clinton, his progressive moon will make a sextile to his natal nodes. And the last time this happened was on November 24th, 1998, or 20 days before the 1998 impeachment. Now I need to go back a little bit because I did say that Bill Clinton's progressed, his ascendant was aspected via a progression, and that was on November 13th, 2025. But I need to go back and see when the last time that same progression had hit. I know I'm going back and forth and stuff. I'm sorry, pause. Okay, so again, On November 13th, 2025, that's when for Bill Clinton's progressive made a trine to his progressive ascendant. Now, the last time this happened was on his progressive ascendant. It was on December the 26th, 1998. That's where, again, Bill Clinton, his progressive made a quincunx to his progressive ascendant. And this was like his impeachment. I believe the proceedings began on December 19th, 1998. However, the trial, it began on January the 7th, 1999. So all I'm saying is that this is very, very important, okay? This full moon that this full moon that happened today, his ascendant being an aspect about all these planets and points in the sky is very, very, very important. So let me go ahead and go down this list of everybody that's gonna be affected in the month of May. But all in all, what it says is that pretty much something out of everyone's control is going to cause a major loss for the Democrats and cause a lucky event to happen for the Republicans. So it's fate. It's out of everybody's control. So I know I'm repeating myself over and over and over again, but this is kind of a very, very important month, and this is I'm not going to do this again. So I'm like, it is what it is. So again, on May the 4th, 2026 for Bill Clinton, his progressive will make a sextile to his natal nodes. The last time this happened was on November 24th, 1998, or 20 days before the 1998 impeachment. Now, on May 5th, 2026, for Donald Trump Jr., his progressive moon will trine his progressed Venus. That means that there could be something in regards to a social event for Trump Jr. For Barron Trump, on May the 10th, 2026, his progressive moon will semi-sextile his progressed Saturn. It's a depressing event for Barron Trump. I don't know why. That's why I said that Melania Trump, she needs to be careful throughout the month of May. And people inside of Barron Trump's circle. So, this whole event might just cause a depression to Barron Trump. Can I talk right? So let's see here. So moving on. So on May the 14th, 2026 for Tucker Carlson, it's his progressed moon will square his progressed Jupiter. It's a lucky event for Tucker Carlson. Now, moving on, so on May the 16th, 2026 for Bill Clinton, his progressed Venus will conjoin his progressed Mars. It's a fated angering event for his social circles. It includes Hillary Clinton, his partners, his social circles, his donors, things like that. So moving on May the 17th, 2026 for Tucker Carlson, his progressed moon will semi-sextile his natal moon. It's a completion of a cycle for him. So moving on, so on May the 17th, 2026 for Donald Trump, his progressed moon will square his progressed Mercury. He hears some kind of news. On May the 17th, 2026 for Barron Trump, his progressed moon will semi-sextile his Saturn. And that's a depressing emotional period of time for Barron Trump. So I don't understand why Republicans are getting lucky, but Barron Trump is like kind of depressed around this time. Who knows? That's why I say Melania Trump needs to be careful around the month of May, because like I said, transit Mars in the sky will conjoin my natal sun and her natal sun, because we had the same birthday. Between the dates of May the 20th and I think May the 26th. I think transit Mars will conjoin my natal sun on May the 26th. However, transit the nodes in the sky will conjoin my natal Mars on, I believe, May the 20th. So it's like it's just weird. And I'm not saying I'm that important. It's just weird that our charts line up for some reason. Like I said, me and Charlie Kirk, his natal sun was conjunct my natal ascendant, and they're both conjunct a fixed star in the sky, Spica, in the sign of Libra. And if you know, you know. If you don't, you don't. I'm tired. Anyway, so moving on. So I was talking about Barron Trump on May the 17th. His progressed moon was semi-sextile Saturn. So moving on. So on May the 20th, 2026, for J.D. Vance, his progressed moon will make a trine to his natal Venus. It's something like a social event for J.D. Vance, or maybe there's something that involving his partner, possibly good. So moving on. So on May the 22nd, 2026 for Chelsea Clinton, her progressed Saturn will quincunx her natal Venus. It's a karmic bad event for her and her social circles. So it's like her, Bill Clinton, and her family is just going through hell. So let's see here. So moving on. So on May the 24th, 2026 for Barron Trump, his progressed moon will semi-sextile his natal nodes. It's a fated event for him. And the last time that Barron Trump's uh, nodes were aspected. That was around, I believe, April the 21st, 2026. That's when his progressed mode made a semi-sextile to his progressed nodes, and that was I think the assassination attempt was on actually okay the timeline. Anyway, so there's another assassination attempt on Donald Trump on the 25th of April. However, on the 21st of April, that's when the assailant or whatever he entered the hotel room, I think, right? Looking at the time, I'll get a timeline after I go over the full month of May. Let me just going back. So that's what I'm saying. Melania Trump and Barron Trump circle needs to be careful around the month of May. Just saying. So moving on. So on May the 21st or the 25th, 2026 for Donald Trump, his progressed Venus will conjoin his progressed Jupiter. It's a fated lucky event for him in the social circles. So moving on. So on May the 27th, 2026 for Gavin Newsom, his progressed moon was semi-sextile natal Saturn. It's a bad emotional block or event for him. On the same day, on May the 27th, 2026 for Bill Clinton, his progressed Mercury was sextile natal Mars. It's fated angering news. So moving on May the 28th, 2026 for Tucker Carlson, his progressed moon will square his natal Uranus. It's a bad, shocking event. Moving on, so on June the 2nd, 2026 for Hunter Biden, his progressed moon will make an opposition to his progressed ascendant. And so moving on, so on June the 4th, 2026 for Jennifer Flowers, her progressed moon will quincunx her progressed Saturn. It's an emotional blocking event for her. I don't understand that, but it is what it is. So moving on, so on June the 4th, 2026 for Ghislaine Maxwell, her progressed Mars will conjunct her natal K2, and that might be a bad event. She needs to be careful as well. So who knows? I mean, they might try to assassinate her inside while she's inside of prison. I don't know. So moving on. So on June the 8th, 2026 with Tucker Carlson, his progressed moon will square his progressed Uranus. It's a bad, shocking event. So, and then, the World Cup is on June 11th, 2026, and there's the man, his name is Mr. Joshua. He was featured on the Cent Twins channel, CENTTWINS TV channel, YouTube channel, where he said that the rapture was supposed to happen on September the 23rd or the 24th, 2025, and that there will not be a World Cup in 2026. And so we'll see what goes down around June 11th, 2026. So, okay, so moving on. So, on June the 12th, 2026 for Hillary Clinton, her progressed moon was sextile her progressed Jupiter, and it's a lucky event for her. But on the next day, on June the 13th, 2026 for Bill Clinton, he would go through the same astrology as he went through during the trial of his impeachment. And that's where his progressed moon will make an opposition to his natal Chiron. The last time this happened was on January 7th. No, the last time this astrology was shown inside of his chart was on January 4th, 1999. However, the trial for Bill Clinton's impeachment happened on January 7th, 1999. And so let's see here. So moving on. So on June the 14th, 2026, that's Donald Trump's 80th birthday or Flag Day. And moving on. So on June the 29th, 2026, for Pete Hegseth, his progressed moon will square his natal Jupiter. It's a lucky event for him. So let's see, moving on. So on July the 4th, 2026, for looking at the transit inside the sky, transit Mars will conjoin transit Uranus inside the sky, and that deals with terrorist attacks, or a possible violent, angering event, or it could be violent justice in regards to Donald Trump getting his revenge. Who knows? So let's see here, on July the 11th, 2026, for Ghislaine Maxwell, her progressed sun will semi-sextile her natal Jupiter. So it's like she gets an ego boost and she gets lucky as shit. Ghislaine Maxwell. So she might get exonerated. Who knows? I don't know. So moving on. So on July 13th, 2026, for Trump Jr., his progressed moon will square his progressed nodes. It's like a fated event for him. Moving on. So on July the 15th, 2026, for Donald Trump, his progressed Venus will square his natal Venus, and there'll be a focus on his social circles and career. And so let's see here, on July the 20th, 2026, for Bill Clinton, his progressed moon will quincunx his natal moon. The last time this happened was the conclusion of Bill Clinton's 1998/1999 impeachment which happened on February 9th, 1999, or the end. Moving on, so on July 21st, 2026 for Chelsea Clinton, her progressed sun will quincunx her natal Saturn. It's a very, very bad event regarding her ego and status, and it's like a loss of status, loss of egos. So it's like something good happens for Ghislaine Maxwell. She is lucky, but something terrible happens in regards to Chelsea Clinton. Weirdly enough. So moving on, so on July 21st, 2026 for Tucker Carlson, his progressed moon quincunxes progressed Mars. It's a bad angering event for him. On July 23rd, 2026 for Donald Trump, his progressed moon will enter the sign Sagittarius. So moving on July 28th, 2026 for Tucker Carlson, his progressed moon sextiles natal Saturn. It's a bad depressing event for him. Okay, and so lastly, on August 9th, 2026 for Bill Clinton, his progressed moon sextiles progressed and natal Uranus. It's a shocking event. It's like a double shock. And I put here the stars line. P.S. I did say biblical. And I said sign astrologer Ice Blue 333. Blah, blah, blah. Sign astrologer Ice Blue 333, the god of astrology. And I had a tarot card here saying judgment. Let me pause a second to get my to ground myself. Pause. Okay, so I say all that to say that pretty much Bill Clinton is about to go through the same. He is going through the same astrology as the Monica Lewinsky scandal. And that's just that. Now I did want to go over a timeline of the astrology and events that have happened inside of the past. Because I'm looking at Charlie Kirk's assassination and the astrology that was shown during that period of time. So I did say all the way back when I said that for the date of August the 27th, I believe, 2025, I said it for Donald Trump Jr. His progressed Saturn, I think, made an aspect, it conjoined his progressed ascendant. And so I said it was going to be a bad event in regards to him or his partners or whatever. And so that happened on August the 27th, 2025. And so I was watching a video, I think from Candace Owens. It's titled me and Erica Kirk, me and Erica Kirk sat down. Let me pause a second to get the exact because I don't want to mess this up because I'm tired. Okay, so I was watching Candace Owens. I was watching her YouTube channel, and the title of this video was called "Erica and I Sat Down." Here's what happened. It's Candace episode 280, and in this video, she gave a timeline of the events that led to Charlie Kirk's assassination. So let me get the timestamp real quick because I'm just trying to pause. Okay, so I'm back. So the timestamp in which Candace Owens, she gives you a timeline in regards to the events that led up to Charlie Kirk's assassination. It starts at 51 minutes and 5 seconds into the video titled "Erica and I Sat Down." Here's what happened. Candace episode 280. And so I'm just gonna go for my notes, which I got from her. And so pretty much she said that on August 27th, 2025, that's when TPUSA plus UVU plus the local BYU chapter shared a graphic that Charlie Kirk was coming to UVU. Let's see here. So moving on. So she also said that on September 2nd, 2025, that was the first time the local media KMYU mentioned Charlie Kirk was speaking in the courtyard, which established Charlie Kirk's exact location. And looking at the astrology and what was going on inside of the Trump Jr.'s chart, J.D. Vance's chart, Usher Vance's chart, and Pete Hegseth's chart, and Taylor Swift's chart because of James Comey. So on August 27th, 2025, that's when Trump Jr., his progressed ascendant conjoined his progressed Saturn in his chart. And that was the exact day that they shared the graphic that Charlie Kirk was coming to UVU. On September 2nd, 2025, J.D. Vance, his progressed moon made an aspect to his Mars. And keep in mind that on April the 22nd, I believe, that's when J.D. Vance, his progressed moon made another aspect to his Mars. And days later, that's when there was a second assassination attempt on Donald Trump. I mean, another assassination attempt on Donald Trump. Anyway, but on September 2nd, 2025, JD Vance's his progressed Mars was aspected by his progressed moon made an aspect towards Mars. See, so much information. I'm tired. Okay. And so that was the first time the local media, KNYU, mentioned Charlie Kirk was speaking at the courtyard, which established Charlie Kirk's location. Moving on. So on, I believe, September 3rd or 4th, 2025. That's when Pete Heck said his progressed moon made aspect was progressed to Uranus, and so it should have been a bad, shocking event for him. And days later, Charlie Kirk was assassinated. I think also on September the 5th, 2025. That's when Usher Vance heard progressed moon made aspect toward Mars, and pretty much Charlie Kirk was assassinated days later. Also on the same day of September the 5th, 2025, Taylor Swift, her progressed moon made aspect to her progressed sun. It should have been like an ego boost for her. And again, Charlie Kirk was assassinated days later. So that's the timeline for Charlie Kirk, looking at the astrology. Looking at Candace Owens. Now I was watching Dan Bongino and him basically talking about Candace Owens and like saying a few things about her or whatever, and like, how could you do this and whatever. You, in my opinion, Candace Owens does not have the privy of knowing what's going on behind the scenes with the FBI and the DOJ and etc. So if I were her and I had the eyes of an astrologer, I'd be the same way. I'm like, you got in front of a TV crew, and on live TV said that Epstein did kill himself, and he didn't have a client list, and you look kind of weird on that show, honestly, Mr. Mangino. And so, what would you do if you saw your friend get killed and like it's all this shit just looks weird? You would just go scorch earth and like, okay, you don't make sense. You don't make sense. You don't make sense. You don't make sense. I'm gonna fucking gaslight and troll the shit out of you until the shit makes sense. So they can probably try to sue her or whatever, but it's I kind of understand. Pause. I kind of get her point of view. She doesn't have the eyes that a person who was inside of Dan Bongino's position was in to see what's going on behind the scenes and what processes are being taken to investigate the situation. And me, I have the eyes of an astrologer. I can see things. I trust the astrology more than what my eyes can see, because I had to. The only reason why I'm alive now is because I had to use astrology to get through my Saturn return. So anyway, I'm trying to see that everything. Let me pause a second. So I'm trying to go down my notes real quick. So, in my opinion, I mean, I guess you can call me an astrologer or whatever. I watch patterns, but people may say that I'm crazy. But the thing about it is that the Trump administration, in my opinion, the Trump administration, Dan and Cash, look as crazy as I do. Honestly, because it's like it's like you're gaslighting the people. In my opinion, even though things are going on, it's like, but I understand that they can't say anything about it. But Dan Bongino and Cash and the Trump administration, all they look as crazy as I do. And I'm an astrologer. I know that people might be like, he's an astrologer, he's crazy. But you see things looking at the astrology. And the DOJ and the FBI and the rest of the CIA, they know things. They just can't say things because it's under investigation. And it's under the process of an investigation. Oh my God. So the people, they can't understand what's going on behind the scenes. And in my opinion, Candace Owens thinks that nothing is happening in regards to getting justice for Charlie Kirk, while things probably are happening. But Cash and Dan and the Trump administration, they can't say anything right now. Anyway, let me pause for another second. Well, no, there's another note right here. Candace Owens might have the mentality to be like, since this does not make sense, I'm gonna burn everything down until it does. And Yeah, and then Candace Owens is gaining followers. I think Dan Bongino, he made some kind of mention in regards to, I'm paraphrasing, in regards to her audience or whatever. And the thing about it is that, of course, Candace Owens' audience is gonna get bigger and bigger and bigger. It's because the shit looks weird. Like, as an astrologer, I understand, but maybe I'm just crazy. But as a regular person who can only just depend on conspiracy theories and depend on what they're told by people who want to just have some kind of sense of closure, even if it's the craziest theory of them all. Of course, she's of course that's the in my opinion logical reaction to this entire debacle. So let me pause a second. Okay, so I guess I'm gonna continue on this rant a little bit longer because I looked at another note. Now, I think Dan Bongino, he mentioned Erica Kirk, right? I'm see right now in my head, Candace Owens and Erica Kirk are like synonymous. I'm sorry, it's like is Candace Owens Charlie Kirk's wife, or is Erica Kirk Charlie Kirk's wife? I don't just hear that name so much. But my point is that I understand that Erica Kirk, she's grieving, of course. But to everybody else, it looks like this whole situation is weird. It looks weird, and it just looks weird. And I mean, I'm looking at everybody else. I'm like, I'm supposed to be the crazy one. I'm supposed to be the crazy one, and then everything makes sense to me. I'm like, everybody's like aliens. People eating babies and etc. I'm like, whatever. Anyway, what was my point? I'm just gonna move on. I'm gonna move on to the next assassination or whatever, or the next timeline of astrology. So on April the 15th or the 16th, right? That Donald Trump's gonna be ready to flip the table over. And what came up was that pretty much apparently he posted on April the 12th, 2026, a picture of him as a healer, or in a lot of other people's opinions as Jesus or whatever. Anyway, so there's a lot of backlash in regards to that from the church, right? Keep in mind, I think my Twitter account was suspended or terminated or whatever. I think around like April the 7th or the 9th. I forgot now. I don't really give a shit. I don't care about this shit anymore. Oh yeah, personal note though, I did say that after I made a video saying I quit, I ended up bumping my head like right here somewhere on a fishbowl, and then next thing you know, I ended up breaking out even more with this spot right here, and it's like I'm up trying to stuff up. I'm like I was like I quit, and then so every time I did say online that every time I something tries to stop me from doing the astrology or whatever, something bad happens to the person, and something bad happens to me. I'm not saying that Donald Trump was the reason that my Twitter account was suspended or whatever. I'm just saying it was just kind of weird. It's like after I made a video about Melania Trump needs to be careful for the month of the mid-April and so on. I made that video and it's like my Twitter account got suspended or whatever. Anyway, so my point. So I made a post on True Social, I believe, on the 14th of April, 2026, when there's a lot of backlash in regards to Donald Trump's picture post in regards to him looking like Jesus or whatever, healing somebody. And so it was a video of Kesha's song "Raising Hell." Now I ran into this song because I was up to my grandmother's house or whatever, and I was cleaning up the house and I wanted to listen to some music. And so I keep music on my phone. My phone is off, but I keep music on my phone. And so I typed in "Raining." It's a song by Cascada, or Cascade, Kaskade. However, when I typed in "Raining," the song "Raising Hell" popped up. And I was like, I haven't heard this song in a long time. And so I played it. And I was like, oh, I was jamming to it, and I was like, hold up. I haven't seen this video in a long time, and it does seem like kind of religious or whatever. So I said, let me watch the video again. And so I get on some Wi-Fi, download the video, well, watch the video or whatever, and then pretty much I see Kesha coming out. It opens up, and it's like she walks out of his White House with this gold hair, and I'm like, when you think of gold hair, you think of Donald Trump, of course. And so she's just on in front of the White House, whatever, just like trying to figure out what am I gonna do, man? What am I gonna do? And then so it flashes forward to like a previous scene where she's like a preacher, a female preacher, and she's just in this pool pit, just dishing out the Holy Spirit. And so she's up and touching people and healing them, or touching people just like Donald Trump was inside the picture. Kesha, I love you. Don't sue me, or don't come after me. I love that song too. Anyway, so my point. So she's touching people, and they're just getting filled full of the Holy Spirit or whatever. And so I'm looking at her. She has this gold hair, and it reminds me of Donald Trump. And so she's in this abusive relationship with this man, who's seemingly jealous of her as this female preacher, and he just keeps on trying to abuse her. And so she's looking at herself inside this mirror or whatever. And it's like, I have to be a good wife. I have to do the right thing and be a good wife. And so she puts on her makeup or whatever. And so she walks up to this man, and she's trying to just kiss him and all this other stuff and trying to love him. And he just tries to strangle her. He's like, I want to get. She's like, stop. And she hits him inside the head with the ball, because she was trying to be the perfect wife, trying to be the perfect the preacher wife, the priestess. I don't know what you call this, but okay. Anyway, but the female preacher wife, whatever. And he's just jealous of her, and he's trying to kill her or whatever. And he keeps on abusing her, and she's like, just stop. And pretty much she hits him inside the head with a scepter, looking like that's what it looks like, or a wand or whatever, pop, and kills him. And she's like, and she sees him on the floor just dead, and she's like, I didn't mean to do this. And what it made me think about was this whole situation with Donald Trump and this system, but the Clintons in general. Because I looked at the man, in this video, it looked like Kesha with his gold hair was Trump, and the man looked like it was Bill Clinton. And it's like she was trying her best to do what was right or whatever. And it's like, in the end, she had to do what she had to do to survive. And so that's my whole little analogy in regards to posting that video or whatever. I posted that video. I said, I captioned it from Trump's astrologer Ice Blue 333 to the Clintons, and I said, for all have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. And I put some more than others. There's Romans, I think, Romans chapter 3, verse 23, right? Let me pause a second to make sure, because I don't want to mess this up, because I'm like, look, pause. Had to pick this Bible back up. So yeah, it's Romans chapter 3, verse 23. For all have sinned and come short of the glory of God. Anyway. And I put under it, I said, some more than others. Upside down smiley face. Sign astrologer Ice Blue 3, the god of astrology. Anyway. Let me pause a second. I was trying to get to a point. So, yeah, I posted that video in reference to the upcoming astrology in regards to the Clintons and Bill Clinton going through the same astrology as the Monica Lewinsky scandal. But not only that, also in reference to Donald Trump making that post in regards to him being a healer. But not only that, it's like, I felt like, personally to me, like me trying to warn Donald Trump about the whole upcoming possible this assassination attempt that happened on April the 25th, 2026. Because I did tell Melania Trump she needs to be careful around the date of April 26th, 2026. And it seems like when I made that post, it was like somebody suspended my account, because it was like, you're just crazy. And what happened? You saw what happened, right? You saw what happened, right? Anyway, so all the while, all the while. So I think on April the 9th, right? Let me pause a second. So yeah, I think I got the email on April the 7th or the 8th that my Twitter account was suspended or terminated or whatever. And then so I on the 8th, I believe I sang a song towards the end of this video titled I Quit. And I think the timestamp was at 32 minutes and 30 seconds into the video, where I sang the song Crazy by Gnarls Barkley, bits and pieces of it. So then a day later on the 9th of April 2026, I made a shorter version of a shorter version of the video while of me singing a song Crazy by Gnarls Barkley, because I was like, I don't give a fuck anymore. I mean, I didn't give a fuck from the beginning. I'm like, I didn't care from the start, but this is the only thing that worked. So I was like, you know what? But anyway, so my point, I sang the song Crazy by Gnarls Barkley, and there's a verse or a line that goes like, oop, I forgot. See, I don't. Yeah, I don't know the whole song. Let me pause. Okay, so okay, I'm back. Okay, so I think it goes like, I forgot again. No. I think it goes like, and I hope that you are having the time of your life. But think twice, right? But think twice. And so keep in mind, I did predict Charlie Kirk's assassination, right? So me predicting the another assassination attempt on Donald Trump, which happened on April the 25th, 2026. That's twice, right? Okay. So, but not only that, I think a couple more days passed or whatever, and then pause for another second to get that. I know I keep on pausing, but I'm like, I'm sorry. I'm just trying to pause. Okay, so I'm back. Okay, so the second song I sang was "Last Night" by Keisha Cole. And keep in mind, I posted this song on the 12th, which is the same day that Donald Trump, he had posted, I believe, that picture of him being a healer or Jesus Christ. Anyway, so but the song goes like, if I told you once, I've told you twice. In reference to another assassination attempt, or me having a second prediction of an assassination attempt, or yeah. Anyway, you get what I mean. Anyway, what was my point? I think I was trying to go over the timeline of this second assassination attempt, but I wanted to add a little more context or whatever. So because it's been on my mind, but it's like I gotta get it out there before I forget about it. So let me pause for a second, make sure I got all the other. Let me check my notes to see is there anything else I'm missing. Because I do stuff and I forget it, and I'm like, I don't really care because I never gave a shit from the beginning. I didn't. Pause. Okay, so I did forget about this. Pretty much the name of the video the title of the video in which I tried to warn Melania Trump and everybody in regards to a possible second assassination attempt. The title of it is Melania Trump needs to be careful mid/late April through May. April 26th, Uranus enters Gemini on her birthday, which is also my birthday, April 26th. I posted this video on April the 7th, 2026. So that's one other thing that I keep forgetting to say or whatever. So let me pause. Another thing in regards to April the 15th, 2026 for Donald Trump, I said that he'll be ready to flip the table over and he'll be angry around this day. On April the 15th, 2026, I believe that's when Eric Swalwell, he was a lot of information came out about him being a possible sexual something, I don't know, in regards to California, whatever, where he's located, whatever. He stepped down in regards to Congress. So that's that. Now, the last time that for Donald Trump, his progressive moon made an aspect towards Mars was on, I believe, April the 8th, 2025. And that's when Donald Trump, he signed an executive order in regards to Chris Krebs, Miles Taylor, and Joe Biden's pardons that were signed with the auto pen. So for Eric I'm gonna say farts well or Eric swallows farts. For Eric, what's his name? Eric swallows farts. He for him to have stepped down in a period of time, it's interesting. So let me pause 1 second. I think it's his name is Eric Swalwell. Pause. Now again, I did say that for JD Vance, the last time that his progressed Mars was aspected, or his progression made an aspect to his Mars was on September 2nd, 2025, and that was 8 days before Charlie Kirk's assassination. So for JD Vance, his Mars was his progression made an aspect to his Mars again on April the 22nd, I believe, 2026, and this was days before this second assassination attempt on this assassination attempt on Donald Trump. Also days later on the 24th of April 2026 for Usher Vance. Her progression made an aspect to her Uranus, and so it should have been a bad, shocking event for her. And the last time that her Uranus was aspected by her progressed moon, that was on February the 26th or the 27th, 2026, and that was around the time that Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton was subpoenaed to testify in front of Congress in regards to the Epstein investigation. But not only that, and this might sound a little conceited or whatever, but I did make a prediction about the Clintons or whatever around that time. And weirdly enough, on the same day, I think I said that I kept talking about Resident Evil 2 and Resident Evil 3, and come to find out that Resident Evil 9 was released on the same day that Bill Clinton was subpoenaed to testify in front of Congress. I wonder if she actually watches my videos secretly, and like she was shocked that Resident Evil came out on the same day as Bill Clinton was subpoenaed to testify in front of Congress or whatever. Crazy, I know. Just a stupid thought. But anyway, so the point was that she had another progression of Uranus on April the 24th, 2026, and that was 2 days before this dinner assassination attempt or whatever. Now the timeline, which was given by Janine Pirro. So let me pause a second. Now on April 27th, 2026, Janine Pirro, she gave the timeline of when, oh my God, this man's name. Let me pause a second. Let me just take a break real quick, because I mean this is a lot of information. It's a lot of stuff to go over. So let me just chill for a second. Let me pause. Let me go back a little bit and explain the Resident Evil 2 and 3 reference. So if you don't know, Resident Evil 2 came out all the way back. The original came out all the way back on January 19th, 1998. This is 7 days, I believe, before Bill Clinton came out and said that he did not have sexual relations with that woman or Monica Lewinsky. So again, Resident Evil 2 came out on January 19th, 1998. Bill Clinton in front of Congress claims not have had sexual relations with Monica Lewinsky on January the 26th, 1998. That was in my reference to Resident Evil 2. Keep in mind also that on January 26th, 1998, for Bill Clinton, his progressed moon, I think, made an opposition to his natal ascendant, I believe. And so this happened again, I believe, on July the 5th, 2025, or November 13th, 2025. I forgot now. It's just so much stuff. Anyway, so let me pause a second, because I need to get back to the timeline of Janine Pirro and her basically going down the timeline of the events that led to the assassination, charging this White House dinner. So let me pause. I wish I had a computer and a lot of other accessories, so I could just have it pop up on the screen right here, something like that, and just like listen to this. But I can't do that. I'm using my phone, a Galaxy Note 10 Plus from like 10 years ago. Well, anyway, 6 years ago, maybe, I don't know, or 7. I forgot. Let me pause for another second to reground myself, so I can just get the energy enough to just finish this, because I have a lot more stuff to talk about, and this is just the timelines and the astrology. So pause. Oh, and before I forget, so I pause. I want to try this again. Okay, so I did say that I was going to try to experiment with like some makeup or whatever to see if I could try to hide like this spot right here, and really was this spot first. Well, this spot first, and then this was here, and then this happened. So I've never used makeup before, so I was like, I went to a local store and had a girl try to help me to figure out what I could do or whatever. And so she gave me some tips or whatever, and I'm like, okay, well, I just want to hide everything. I just want to just put like one thing on my face and be done with it. So anyway, I bought some makeup recently because my birthday came up and I had ran into like a little extra money or whatever. This shit is expensive. This shit is expensive. So anyway, I ordered some makeup on my birthday, and kind of find out because I'm still thinking about the two songs I sang where I said twice, like um Jesus Christ, I keep forgetting the song lyrics. I think it goes like, and I hope that you are having the time of your life. But think twice. But think twice. And then the other song was Last Night by Keisha Cole. Um, if I told you once, I told you twice. So anyway, so I buy this makeup, right? And I'm supposed to only get one. I've already had bought some other makeup or whatever. Got this whole little jar of makeup or whatever. And I just got this too. And some brushes or whatever. Because I am on YouTube and I'm trying to figure out. I mean, you need to know how to. I'm broke, so you need to step in and know how to do your own stuff or whatever. So I got this stuff so I could just who knows, I might have to make a very important video and I need makeup. So anyway, so I buy this makeup right here, right? So I bought this originally at a Dollar General or whatever, and it's like off color. But so I go online and I buy this, and I thought I bought one of these, but they shipped me two. Two. So it made me think about the. I keep forgetting the lyrics. If I told you once, I told you twice. And the other song by Nars Barkley. But anyway, I got two of these in the mail, and I'm like, wow. You think about it twice. I predicted two assassination situations. Anyway, so and let me see. Does this match my skin tone? Is this the one I didn't open yet? Okay, so maybe this might be better. I don't know. I just got it and today, which is the reason why I made which is the reason why I'm making the video now. I'll probably put some on at the end of this video because I don't really give a shit. But anyway, so the timeline in regards to Janine Pirro gave. Pause for a second. This is a lot of information, and I don't know if this is gonna match on camera too. Who knows? It's probably too light. I want to be able to just to wipe some stuff on or whatever and just be done. But the girl, she said you can't do that. But then again, I did some more research and they have some other makeup called opaque concealer or something like that, where you can just put it on and it just conceals everything. People cover up tattoos with that, and I'm like, that's what I needed. But I don't know. I don't know about this shit. I don't. Yeah. So let me pause for a second. Let me get grounded because I'm trying to say all the stuff that's popping into my head right now before I forget, because I will forget like I always do. So, and I know I'm jumping from one thing to another, but I'm like, it is what it is. Let me pause. Pause. Okay, so if you have Janine Pirro, she said that on March the 2nd, Donald Trump he claimed that he was going to have an event at this Hilton hotel. So March the 2nd was the beginning. So let me pause another second. Okay, so on April the 6th, that's when Cole Allen, he made a reservation at this hotel. So, pause. He made the reservation for the 24th, the 25th, and the 26th of April, 2026. Okay, so on April the 21st, that's when he traveled all the way from, I believe, California or LA to Chicago. And then he arrived, I believe, on April the 23rd 2026. So let me pause for a second. Well, no, he arrived in Chicago on the 23rd, and he arrived in Washington D.C. on the 24th. And I believe the event was supposed to take place. Well, Donald Trump and Melania Trump, they came out on the 25th at 8:00 p.m. On the 25th of April, 2026. So let me pause for a second, make sure I have everything right. Okay. So Donald Trump and Melania Trump, I believe they came out on at 8:00 p.m. in this hotel room or whatever. Not hotel room, but this hotel gathering or whatever. And I believe that he charged this gathering or this dinner at 8:40 p.m. on the 25th of April, 2026. Okay, so another thing I forgot to mention was that when transit Mercury, transit Mars, and transit Saturn conjoined in the sky on the 19th and the 20th of April, 2026, that could have also had something to do with this major event. Because, like I said, there was going to be a trigger that could cause either a war or a civil war. Because transit Uranus is going to change signs on the 26th of April. And that was the last of the larger planets that were going to change signs this year. And so something changed on April 26, 2026. Just saying. And crazy enough, that was my birthday. And Melania Trump's birthday as well. Go figure. Anyway, so like I've already said that that's the timeline of the events of Cole Allen charging this Washington D.C. dinner or whatever. So again, the astrology was for Donald Trump on the 15th of April. His progressed moon made an aspect to his Mars. On the 20th of April, 2026, transit Mercury, Mars, and Saturn conjoined in the sky. On the 22nd of April, 2026, transit for J.D. Vance, his progressed moon made an aspect to his Mars. On the 24th of April 2026, for Usher Vance, her progressed moon made an aspect to her progressed Uranus. It means a shocking event. And then for Melania Trump, she had a solar return, or her birthday happened on April 26, 2026. And that was also my birthday as well. Go figure. And then also on April 26, 2026, or the 25th, 2026, that's when transit Uranus changed signs into Gemini. So that's the entire timeline of events. Pause. That's the entire timeline of events with the astrology. Now, there's other astrology that happened in the sky, but that's what I saw that allowed me to make my prediction. So there you go. So it wasn't a threat to the president's life. Who am I? A broke black dude trying to threaten the considered most powerful man on the planet right now. Anyway, pause. That's for the FBI or the CIA or whatever. That's for Cashy Cash Patel. If they're all thinking that I'm some kind of terrorist or whatever who's trying to do something, I don't know. Whatever. I've been trying to warn y'all bastards. I wonder if this is gonna get me like the $13 million and the 13-ounce solid gold medal and all this other shit or whatever. Anyway, pause. And if you don't understand that reference, pretty much before Charlie Kirk was assassinated on the day of the eclipse, the September 7th eclipse or whatever, I jokingly like made a list of like stuff that I was like that I was saying I wanted from Donald Trump or whatever. If you go to my True Social account, and then just look at the messages under my pinned comment talking about 1 year and 3 days that Donald Trump should have died by assassination. He came back, pissed face of it, and he's like, whatever. I'm so tired that I'm like, it is what it is. Pause. But I sent Donald Trump like a list of stuff that I was like, yeah, give me this. Anyway, this is all the way back like days before Charlie was assassinated. Anyway, pause. It is crazy to have an inside joke with yourself. And that's fucking ridiculous. That's a different kind of crazy. That's a different kind of crazy to have an inside joke with yourself. Pause. Okay, so not to the big thing or whatever. Because I just went back through a lot of my screenshots. And I forgot I said this a long time. Because a while back, like days before Charlie Kirk was assassinated, What day was this exactly? This is on January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September. September the 8th, 2025. This is like 2 days before Charlie Kirk was assassinated. So who knows? Like the DOJ or the FBI might think this is a threat, but no, I'm just saying that I was giving you the astrology of what was going on, and I was scarily right, really enough. So I made this post on September the 8th, 2025 at 1:20 p.m. I said I just wanted to add that the astrology for September, October, plus December and next year looks crazy. Specifically, why I don't know. Trump will not be too happy about the midterm elections, and I'm repeating this because I think that it is important, and it bears repeating because it will be a bad event for him, Trump Sr., but a fated good event for me, Ice Blue 3. And I have told you that I'm trying to get Jennifer Boozer's Alabama Sharp Alabama reopened. I believe things are fated and cannot be changed no matter what you do. But that sounds crazy, right? I think you're crazy. Anyway, until you see it for yourself. And apparently, I just saw it. I'm like, what the world? Everything I said came true. Everything. I'm kind of shocked. But anyway, my first priority is the Clintons, and then Representative Annie Witt of Alabama, and then Dan Patrick of Texas. I'm trying to get hemp rescheduled and legalized just as alcohol was legalized in 1933. 33, the number. 33. Speaking of the number 33. This Tom Allen or Tim Allen or whatever who charged his dinner. Why his name had to be Cold Force? Why had to be Cold Force? And why he had to be at the cat? My dude, Cash Tell. Cash, what's going on here? You cheating on me? You cheating on me? I know you guys got your girlfriend, but no. I'm not gonna compete with no other weirdos. I'm gonna be your top weirdo. Your top weirdo. Anyway. So anyway, this man, his name was Cole. His online name was Cold Force. Go figure. This man who charged the DC dinner or whatever, trying to assassinate Donald Trump with a shotgun. You gonna see this idiot try to take on the Secret Service with a shotgun. Anyway, good for the Secret Service. Anyway, moving on. So I'm trying to get hemp rescheduled and legalized just as alcohol was legalized in 1933. And also, I think Drake is releasing an album called Iceman. Why everybody taking my name? Why everybody being talking about ice now? Cold. What's going on here? Anyway, okay. I want to finish this. Okay, I'm sorry. So I'm trying to get hemp rescheduled and legalized just as alcohol was legalized in 1933, as there were many investors who heavily invested in the 2018 Farm Bill. And this has been a long-standing political football for a very long time. And I will add again, in my personal opinion, Andy Witt is the next Roy Moore of Alabama, and Tommy Tuberville is doing the same thing that Jeff Sessions did in Trump's first term. I'm just saying, think about it. Patterns do exist, and I'm just warning you about them. I'm just warning you. Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton will have the exact same astrology as the Monica Lewinsky scandal / impeachment starting next year on January 17th, 2026, which is around the time that they was almost held in contempt of Congress. And I said this all the way back in September, 2 days before Charlie Kirk was assassinated. Mind you. It's on True Social. Star Report submission with the entire month of May 2026. Today's May 1st. Being similar astrology as the impeachment of Bill Clinton in 1998/1999. I need to correct that though. The trial for Bill Clinton's impeachment, the astrology for the trial in regards to Bill Clinton's impeachment happens on June the 13th, 2026. And the end of this whole debacle may happen around July 20th, 2026. That's the end. But anyway, that's not here. I didn't write that all the way back on September the 8th, 2025. But nothing has happened yet. It's still May the 1st, 2026. Anyway. So, moving on. So, why this happens, I don't know. Which I didn't know. But you should see why later this month. Charlie Kirk was assassinated. And next month, October 2025, the government was shut down for about 2 months. October and November. And even in December 2025, that's when the Epstein Transparency Act was supposed to have all the files released in December, which I didn't know all the way back in September, on September 8th, 2025. But that's the astrology for you. Something big is about to happen. And again, this is a warning. All I'm saying is I'm trying to get Jennifer Boozer's shop, Cannabis, back open. Dan Patrick goes against the 2018 Farm Bill that several people heavily invested in, costing them their livelihoods. Just saying, karma is more real than you can imagine. Anyway, after the Clintons, Andy Wood of Alabama is next, and then Dan Patrick of Texas. You will not like the results of the 2026 election. However, it will work out in your favor in 2027. I'm just giving you a heads up. This is astrology, which it is. It's astrology. It's not me trying to say that I'm going to take out somebody via their life. Maybe politically, but not their life. I'm gonna skip that. All right. But basically, I said I don't know what's gonna happen, but this is all gonna happen. And what happened was Charlie Kirk was assassinated, and then we're on a whole slew of like things that are going on, like dominoes. Anyway, is that everything? Let me pause for a second. I was gonna put some makeup on in this video, but it's like this video is like an hour, so now I might make another video, because this video is probably so fucking boring that nobody's gonna really get through the entire thing. I feel bad or sorry for the FBI or the CIA that's probably trying to watch me, and they're like, "This guy's boring the shit out of me." Sorry, I'm not this boring all the time. It's just that this astrology is so linear that you really just can't. And I'm reading from my notes. So let me pause a second to see if there's anything that I'm missing right now. Pause. Oh, I do want to read this though. Donald Trump, he did write this all the way back on. You know what's so funny? So I did say that because I need to add this too. I made this post on that post I just read on September the 8th, 2025, right? Well, Donald Trump on September the 8th, 2024, 1 year before Charlie Kirk was assassinated, he said that, he said, and I quote, "As I have previously stated," this is Donald Trump's Truth Social post that he made on September the 8th, 2024. This is exactly 1 year to the date that I made this post in regards to this, trying to warn him about something was about to go down, something big was about to go down. So he's stressing that. Donald Trump made his post on September the 8th, 2024 at 10:18 p.m. And I quote, he says, and I quote, "As I have previously stated, I believe it is time to end the needless arrest and incarcerations of adults for small amounts of marijuana for personal use. We must also implement smart regulations while providing access for adults to safe, tested product. As a Floridian, I'll be voting yes on Amendment 3. Why my number? Amendment 3. 3. Anyway, this November, as president, we will continue to focus on research to unlock the medical uses of marijuana to a Schedule 3 drug. Schedule 3. My number again, 3. And work with Congress to pass common sense laws, including safe banking for state-authorized companies, and supporting states' rights to pass marijuana laws, like in Florida, that work so well for their citizens." Anyway, here we are in May. And Donald Trump, he just rescheduled marijuana on April. It took a whole damn year for Donald Trump. No, 2 years, right? A year and a half, maybe. A year and almost a half. While all these other hemp shops and companies, they lost their livelihoods because of Donald Trump's slow actions. Anyway. And seemingly negligent indifference. But that's my opinion. So let's see if there's anything else that I forgot to mention. Let me pause a second. But I do want to add this as well. In my opinion, we the people, we did not vote for Andy Witt's bill, HB 445, which led to the closing of several hemp shops in Alabama. Probably all hemp shops outside Alabama. But not only that, the death of a black boy or man or son who was 18 years old. His name was Jabari Peoples. it led to his death, in my opinion. We as the people, we didn't vote for the things that work to be closed down or destroyed or ridden away. We the people did not vote for candy and sweets to be taken away from taken off of food stamps or whatever. I mean, and if you think about it, you are fucking with people who really probably don't even vote. They're just like, okay, give me my food stamps and I'm gonna go my own way or whatever. Because you started fucking with these people, and it's not just black people, it's white people too. They gonna vote against you, in my opinion. I mean, you probably say we're not a welfare state and all this other stuff. There's some people that you need to leave the hell alone, so they can just be distracted and mind their own damn business. But you're like, oh, we gonna sell and take sweets off food stamps or whatever. A relative of mine, I think Kay Ivy, she signed some bill in regards to pornos or whatever. You have to sign in and give your age or all this other stuff in regards to the porn websites or whatever too. And like this person, he's like, look, I'm like, I can't watch the porn. I can't. He's not on food stamps, and he works his ass off. But he's like, I just want to buy my beer, watch my pornos, and be left the fuck alone, and buy my guns or whatever. Leave me the fuck alone. I don't want to be bothered. And see you're fucking with people who don't. This person never voted inside his damn fucking life. Never voted. Last year, he voted for Kamala. What was it? Yeah, for Kamala. I think for Kamala Harris because Kay Ivey signed that bill before Donald Trump was inside of office. Anyway, understand you're fucking with the regular people who just don't want to be bothered with shit. They'll vote for you because of people voted for you because of trans ideology, the LGBTQ ideologies being put onto children in schools. The censorship that was going on in regards to the internet, which in my opinion Donald Trump caused because of his repeal of net neutrality, which is funnily enough Obama was the one who signed I think net neutrality into law, but it is what it is. So I'm independent. I do vote. I do lean mostly towards Republican, but I'm really independent. So there's that. I think you call Joe Rogan a liberal. So Sean Ryan, I think Joe Rogan. I don't know if Joe Rogan voted for Donald Trump or not, but it's in that last election. Anyway. Sean Ryan voted for Donald Trump, and like because of this Epstein situation, and because it looks so fucking weird to everybody. Yeah. See, with my eyes and looked at the astrology or whatever, I get it. And see, Dan Bongino, I can understand how come he gets it too because he knows what's going on behind the scenes. These regular people don't know. And they're gonna look at the conspiracy theories and be like, "Oh, Trump's one of them. Dan Bongino's probably inside the Epstein list too. Cashy Patel's probably inside the Epstein list too. All of them probably inside of it. They probably all in, or they probably saw some stuff and they said if you lock us up, we're gonna do something to you or some major conspiracy theory. When really there's just a major investigation that's going on behind the scenes, in my opinion. And looking at the astrology, something big's about to go down this month and next month and the next month. In my opinion, looking at the astrology. So, my what I'm trying to say is, like, the regular people who don't want to be bothered, you're fucking with them with this HB 445, with taking candy literally from babies who are on food stamps or whatever, and possible diabetics who need to get their insulin dose or whatever, or dose of insulin. They don't want to use like medical grade stuff. Whatever. They just want to buy a sweet cake and eat it and be done with it, or drink a soda. Anyway, and I'm up looking at Benny Johnson. Benny Johnson, he's posting. I think he's a YouTuber or whatever. He's posting videos of black, morbidly obese women, seemingly, but it looks like it's AI. It looks like it's AI, and so he's just cracking jokes about it. And I'm like, that looks like it's AI. And so what it boils down to me is like, it's like, okay, I see what I see the underlying context here. And I'm like, when if somebody who is just a regular liberal or whatever, if they go to your channel and they see that on your channel, they're gonna be like, oh, you are. So they're right about Trump and his crew being a racist or whatever. So it's like, I'm not saying that Benny Johnson is a racist or whatever, but the optics matter, especially when this Epstein situation is still under an investigation, and it's probably being used as an October surprise. But anyway, but it looks like the October surprise is going to come kind of early after this assassination attempt. Seemingly. Anyway, I'm going to rant now because I'm done with the astrology. I'm done with the meat of the scenario. And now I'm just gonna give you fat. So let me pause. I'm not saying that Benny Johnson is racist and all those stuff either, and he probably wouldn't even care if even I call him racist because the term is so damn fucking over. Anyway, I wonder what these black Democrats would do if it came out that Danny Williams / Clinton was Bill Clinton's black biological son, and the Democratic Party, they basically just neglected and avoided that whole situation or whatever, while also screaming Black Lives Matter. I wonder what they would do then, because like I said, I'm already independent. I lean more towards the Republican side because it makes fucking sense now, but I'm more so independent. Anyway, so I'm looking at Dan Bongino. But okay, I was talking about Benny Johnson. I'm not saying that he's racist. I'm just saying that the optics matter. And being that you have people not losing their food stamps, but losing the ability to buy like just simple things like sweets and stuff like that with their food stamps or whatever, and you're just joking about it, you're like, ha 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 ha, she's fat as hell and all this other stuff, whatever. Would you date her? And no, he didn't say that. Or would you go to this cookout where it was this line of black women or whatever that they were like fat or obese or whatever, and they were just joking about it. I'm like, okay, optics matter. Sometimes people buy sweets because they need insulin because they're diabetic. Sometimes people just want to buy sweets just to have a sweet. So, and what you may think is healthy may not be healthy. There was a time when there's people that they used to eat all these greens and vegetables and stuff like that, and guess what? They were covered in pesticides, and even when they washed the greens or whatever, they were still covered inside of pesticides, and the bitches got cancer. So what you think may be healthy may not be healthy. You can look at RFK Jr. and see, and he has these muscles and stuff like that. It's pretty to look at, but the thing about it is that, is it one sustainable and is it really healthy? So it looks good, but is it really healthy? Which is my point. So Dan Bongino, let me pause a second. So Dan Bongino, it seems like he keeps on starting shows with he's talking about people saying that nothing is happening, but it's happening, and all this other stuff. Optically, because I understand, I can see from, in my opinion, Dan Bongino's eyes, he's seen what's going on behind the scenes. He's seen the gears and the nuts and the bolts that are going on behind the scenes, and so the regular people, they don't see that. All they hear is the conspiracy theories and etc. Let me turn this off to see if because this is burning my fucking eyes. Whew, that's better. I'm sorry. If it's darker, I'm sorry. But so Dan Bongino, he knows what's going on behind the scenes. The regular people, they don't, and so that's an issue. And so he looks crazy. He looks either to everybody, he looks crazy as shit or scared as hell. And to me, pretty much the people might just call me crazy as shit because they're like, this guy's crazy. He said all this stuff's gonna happen. It's not gonna happen, and the shit's happening. I made that post all the way on September the 8th, 2025. Everything I said is coming true. I'm trying to find a possible thing that you can type in to get directly to it. I guess the only caption I can find where you can type in type in something to go exactly to this True Social post, because I think I have like over like 600 or 700 posts on True Social. I think you can type in specifically why or Dan Patrick, right? Or first priority, the number one ST in priority. That's probably caption too. 1933 is a probably good caption too. 1933. Just to type inside of the search bar inside in reference to my name to get to this one True Social post that I made. Anyway, but people may say that he's crazy. Go to this one True Social post and you'll be like, oh shit, everything he said is happening, and here we are in May, and we're gonna see what's gonna go down. The only thing that may not happen is like Donald Trump may not give me the $13 million or whatever, and all this other stuff or whatever. It'd be crazy if I wake up one day and a big ass truck is outside of my damn house, and there's like 3 cars, a Toyota Prius Prime, a fully loaded Tesla truck, and a Jeep 392, a white one, and then like a truck full of Apple stuff, a Mountain House stuff, rifles that I gotta go to somewhere to get them registered inside of my name. Pistols in my name, like a SIG, the SIG GTO or whatever, or the 211 or whatever, and the Glock 43X Koa or whatever, and the Glock 17 Koa or whatever, and a Trijicon VCOG SEO for the Geisley rifles. That'll be insane. That'd be insane to just like really, because what really might happen is I might get a knock on the door. FBI, open the fuck up. We were waiting to get your ass. Oh no! But can you imagine though? Can you imagine? Like it on the news. They pull up my fucking account, my True Social account, right? And they say we have this astrologer. We had this astrologer who's pinned inside of his top comment, saying, "Let the history books / devices always and forever say." 1 year and 3 days after Donald Trump should have died by assassination, he came back. And on the 3rd day, like Jesus, pissed in the face of his enemies, called it rain, and then destroyed them. And then he lived happily ever after. The end. P.S. I did say biblical. Sign Astrologer, Ice Blue 333, the God of Astrology. Sign Astrologer, Ice Blue 333, the God of Astrology. And then with a Judgment tarot card right there. Imagine being on the fucking news for either getting locked up for saying some fucked up shit, or for Donald Trump saying, you know what, you try to prevent an assassination or whatever. This is good publicity or whatever for my administration or whatever. It's for me just like Jesus Christ, JFK. He had an astrologer, he didn't listen, and I apparently got an astrologer who's black, who claims to be the next Gene Dixon, who basically predicted an assassination and an assassination attempt, trying to save my life. Go figure. Anyway, oh my god, and then also let the Danny Williams Clinton situation come out to be true. Anyway, and then my ass up and got some damn makeup. You know, I never get breakouts unless something crazy is about to happen. Anyway, either bad or good, I don't give a fuck. My life is shitty as is already. And as far as like getting arrested or whatever by the FBI or whatever, or the CIA or whatever, fuck it, I don't care. Like, I know that things can always get worse. Hell has a fucking basement. But it is what it is. It is what it is. Did I threaten the life of Donald Trump or the Clintons or Andy Witt or Dan Patrick of Alabama? No. I tried to warn these bitches about the astrology. That's all. That's all. If you want to arrest me for that, go do it. Anyway, I think let me see, is there anything else that I'm missing right now? Because I think I have a couple more notes that I'm missing, and then I'm gonna call it quits. So let me pause for a second. But I think I was talking to Dan Magino when I went on a whole damn rant. And pretty much him always saying it, him claiming that people are saying nothing is happening, but it's happening. And I'm like, in my opinion, I think Dan Bongino, he's like gaslighting people. But I think that he knows now because he came out. I think he talked to Sean Hannity, one of these people. I forgot now, but he talked to one of these people or whatever, and he said that he was saying that he was scared that if they don't win the midterm elections or whatever, that he could probably be inside of prison for the rest of his life or federal prison for the rest of his life or whatever, because he knows that he did everything by the book, but it's like the law isn't the law anymore, or something like that. But looking at the astrology now, all the way back in 2017, there was a total solar eclipse that happened over the United States. I think even Donald Trump, he went out and watched that solar eclipse. And mind you, I learned this too. Don't ever look at an eclipse. Don't ever look at an eclipse. Especially, yeah. Don't ever look at it. It's terrible. It's bad luck. It's terrible luck. Anyway, so 2017. Let me get the exact date. Let me pause a second. Okay, so on August 21st, 2017, there was an eclipse that traveled from Oregon to South Carolina. And so that was August 21st, 2017. And so on, I believe, September 23rd, on September 23rd, 2017, there's an astrological alignment that apparently they said that it was supposed to fulfill a biblical prophecy, where they call it was a sign of Nineveh or Revelation 12. Let me see here. Let me pause for a second. So I'm using Google AI, so I'm gonna try to read from this because I'm exhausted right now. So a lot of people said it was connected to Nineveh or the sign of Jonah. Some interpreted this event as a prophetic warning for the United States and the world, signaling a need for repentance similar to the biblical Nineveh. In alternative interpretations, many Christian theologians argued this was a sign of Christ's resurrection, the sign of Jonah, rather than a prediction of a specific date for the end of the world. Some view this event as a warning sign of God's judgment, while others used it as a call for personal repentance. But so that was September 23rd, 2017. So years later, so that's 2017, 18, 19. So I think on December 2019, that's when that was the origins of COVID-19, right? And it expanded from 2019 to 2020 and 2021. So there was another total solar eclipse that happened on April the 8th, 2024. And so it passed from Texas to Maine. And so when if you think about COVID-19 being a possible result of the 2017 eclipse that happened on August 21st, 2017. So if you count, so that's 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021. It's like 5 years. So 2024, 2025, 2026. 2026 will probably be the year that something big could go down. Just looking at patterns and cycles. 2027 could be like a major eruption of events in 2028. Just saying, just looking at patterns. What's my point? Let me pause a second. So who knows? Maybe being that the 2017 eclipse was inside of Oregon, it could have been something to do with the White House. And you know that Joe Biden in 2024, he ended up taking over the White House. So if you think about, so that's Oregon. Something could go down inside of Texas. 2024, 2025, 2026. This year. But who knows? Maybe I'm wrong. But I'm just saying we need to be careful around this time. Anyway. So to Maine. Anyway. Try to see, is there anything else I want to add to this video? So let me pause a second. I guess my point is that Donald Trump, and they're probably finna do something insane. I don't know. Especially, um, I think Donald Trump he will have a progression to his Saturn. I think on November the 19th. Let me pause a second to get the exact date. Okay, so I'm back. So yeah, on November the 19th, 2026 for Donald Trump, his progression will try to progress Saturn, and it's a depressing emotional block around this time for Donald Trump. And see, um, these aspects can be felt days before these days, but it's who knows? It could be anything. It could be anything because I don't understand how come Hillary Clinton, she's also having bad astrology, but Bill Clinton is having decent astrology. So it's just weird. It's just weird. And then all the way in the future, beyond that, on March the 7th or the 18th, 2027, that's when Donald Trump has progressed. Jupiter will square his natal Venus, and his partners and circles might get lucky. Weirdly enough, in my personal chart, my progressed, I believe Mars is going to make an aspect to my natal moon, and so it's like it could be a bad event for my career or me in general. So who knows? Maybe I might upset somebody, and they might try to do something to me. I don't know. But see, I've had a progression where my progressed Venus made an aspect to my natal moon, and what happened was I think there was I think it came out that I think Cash Tail and Chuck Grassley or whatever. This progression happened, I believe, on June the 2nd, 2025. I think Chuck Grassley and them they came out and said they found the files hidden in a prohibited access um part of the FBI computer system called Sentinel. So that's that. Um, so and then also I think Bill Clinton he released a book called Jesus Christ, I forgot the name of that book. He released a book. Let me pause a second. The name of the book was called The First Gentleman. Okay. So only God knows what can happen around March 2027. Maybe somebody might be upset with me and they try to destroy my account or something like that. I don't know. Anyway, I think that I want to call it quits. Yeah, it is what it is. I'm just curious about the Danny Williams Clinton situation. Is that ever going to come to light that he might possibly actually be Bill Clinton's actual black biological son? So that's gonna be it for me. And I'll repeat. Oh wait, I need to talk about the meteors. So I did say that I have a video called "The Meteors." The first in regards to me making a post called "The Final Judgment" in regards to listing all the astrological aspects that were coming up in regards to Bill Clinton's chart or whatever. And so I said inside of this in this post what are called "Final Judgment" that I put two meteors in the post. The first meteor was shown to have shown in that I posted in regards to my prediction. It was made. It was posted on February the 17th, 2026. That's the date of the first meteor that I said is something big could go down in regards to the Clintons or whatever. And what happened on that day was I think Prince Andrew he was randomly arrested. Also, I believe that Jesse Jackson he passed away. I think also like some drug cart member or whatever he was also arrested or killed. He was killed. Other stuff happened too, but I forgot now. And so the second meteor that I have shown here is on May the 4th, 2026 for Bill Clinton. And here it is right here because nothing has happened so far yet. I think it's right about here. It's shown for May the 4th, right? I can't read that right now. Yeah, okay. So May the 4th is going to be a big day for Bill Clinton, but really it's May the 6th and the 7th because that's when transit Pluto is stations and goes retrograde, while also conjoining transit well no not conjoining while also the nodes are making an aspect. So transit Pluto is going to make a aspect to Bill Clinton's natal ascendant. But not only that, also the nodes in the sky are going to make an aspect to his ascendant as well. And I've already went over Bill Clinton's ascendant been aspected by his progressed aspects. So with this alignment inside of the sky, only God knows what's going to go down with Bill Clinton. So that's why I want to end it at. Now, like I said, the big dates for Bill Clinton were November 13th, 2025. I would say May 4th, 2026, but that's a big date too. But and understand these progressions they can be felt 6 days before, 6 days after. So anyway, and see, understand 6 days after November 13th, 2025. That's when the Epstein Transparency Act was signed by the House, Senate, and Donald Trump into law or into effect. So that was that. And on that day, on November 13th, 2025, that's when Bill Clinton's Senate was aspected by his progressed moon. His progressive Senate or his natal Senate, I forgot now. So November 13th, 2025, May the 4th, 2026, and June the 13th, 2026 is the beginning of the trial for Bill Clinton. June 13th, 2026 is the beginning of the trial. The same astrology as the trial as Bill Clinton's impeachment. And then lastly, on July the 20th, 2026, that's when he will go through the same astrology as the conclusion of his impeachment. With August 9th, 2026 being a shocking event for Bill Clinton. So that's gonna be it for me. This was linear and wasn't that funny or whatever, but I can't, I'm going on a list of astrology, and it's gonna be kind of linear and not that funny. I try to add a few jokes inside there. One more thing is that I don't know. Well, I think probably because this eyeliner is like cheap. It was like $1. I don't know how women don't put their eye out with this stuff. But I guess being that this is probably like a harder pencil, and so it's like you got to put it. Yeah, I guess like the more expensive pencils are like have like a softer whatever. Anyway, I hope this sounds more congealed than I think it does, because I'm tired. Anyway, so that's gonna be it for me. Bye for now.